What is going on, Fleet Nation? This is Brendan from NY Fly Zone, and today I'm going to give a recap of the Jets green and white scrimmage. Last night, I was in attendance for the event, and man, it felt good to be back and surrounded by Jets fans again. It was my first time being in MetLife since 2019, I believe, so it felt really good to be back in the atmosphere. And really quick shout out to the 20,000 fans who showed out. Really impressive stuff. The place was rocking. And for that many people to come out just for scrimmage, it says a lot. Now, to start off, last night wasn't Wilson's day at all. He went 11 of 24 for 112 yards and 2 interceptions. His 7 drives led to only 3 points and, of course, 2 picks and 4 punts. Wilson was going up against the first defensive line unit, which was Carl Lawson, Quinnen Williams, Sheldon Rankins, Vinny Curry, with some rotations of Nathan Shepard, Jonathan Franklin Myers, Fatukasi. And as you know, I mean, we have a top 10 ranked defensive line. You know, some say there's that argument going on that it may be better than the 49ers defensive line unit. But nonetheless, we really do have some meat up front, and that's, our strong suit. And the defense was getting a lot of pressure. So for the majority of the night, it almost felt like Wilson just had to maneuver in the pocket in order to get the ball out. His decision-making was not that good. In fact, the worst we've ever seen with the Jets. So our starting defensive line was definitely winning in the trenches against our O-line. But keep in mind, rookie Elijah Vera Tucker was out, so Dan Feeney replaced him. Now, you could argue that if AVT was present there at the left guard position, that there would be more time for Zach Wilson to go through his progressions and make throws. But honestly, just by being there in person, watching the motions happen, our O-line kind of was getting bullied by our defensive line, hence why Zach Wilson looked like a deer in headlights a little bit. So going back to decision making by Wilson, his 2 interceptions were him basically forcing the ball and trying to make things happen. In one of them, he escaped a sack from Franklin Myers and threw a ball into triple coverage, which was intended for Vincent Smith, and LaMarcus Joyner was just basically sitting right there and just picked them off. Now, that was the second time that Wilson was doing that. LaMarcus Joyner should have had 2 picks on the night, but he actually dropped one. Wilson, it was like the same exact play, and Wilson just was trying to force it in, but LaMarcus Joyner was already sitting there in coverage, and he just dropped the ball. So LaMarcus Joyner got a pick. Wow, good for him, not good for Zach Wilson. So his other interception was a pass deflection, and CJ Mosley was the one to bring it down. The positive was that the defense looked really good. The corners, which is most likely our weakest position, was really showing out. They didn't allow Corey Davis, Jamison Crowder, Keelan Cole, Elijah Moore, or any projected starter to score. So that most definitely is a plus. And in regards to Wilson, I mean, stuff like this happens. He's a rookie, and they will make mistakes. Now, it is almost better that this happened last night against his own team, so he can take it and learn from it. Now Wilson has tape in situations of corners locking down his options, which he can use so he can learn on how to improvise. Whether it's running for a couple yards and running out of bounds for some quick gains instead of throwing a lousy interception, or just learning to be more patient in the pocket. I mean, these are things that are crucial for the development of rookies. Marcus May had a really good game. He had a great pass breakup on Tyler Kroft. It was a beautiful ball placed by Wilson, but May read the play, covered Kroft, and got his hands in to stop the play. Also, Michael Carter really stood out to me. He got a touchdown. I think it was like a quick drop-in touchdown, and he got a nice punt return, but it was called short by the refs. And our backups, Mike White and James Morgan, looked really good. Mike White had 2 touchdowns. One that was to Malone, nice pass in the corner of the end zone, and also Mike White had a touchdown with Kenny Yeboah. So again, these are 2 really nice plays made by our backup quarterbacks, and also James Morgan looks pretty well. He was ripping the ball back. And that's, honestly, like, the Mike White and the Morgan played a little bit better than even Zach Wilson today. I mean, I know that Zach Wilson is going up against the first team defense, but still. So overall, definitely going to be some learning experiences for Wilson. We have the first preseason game, which is coming up next week against the Giants. So Wilson has a week to go over his mistakes, learn from them, grind out the film, and basically get ready for when he gets his first actual start in an NFL preseason game. So thank you guys for listening to this video. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NY Fly Zone, and also make sure to follow us on our socials at NY Fly Zone on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and make sure to stay tuned for our podcast, which release on all streaming platforms: Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, you name it, on Wednesdays at 12 o'clock. So thank you guys very much for listening. Go Jets, and I'll see you next time.